What it do? Welcome to Conversations from Paris. This is your girl, Paris. I have to realize some of you guys don't know me, so I really do have to introduce myself every single day. So I'm Paris, and we're having conversations, and this is where we do it. We talk about everything, but mostly it circles back to mental health and about how to make sure that you are freely speaking about it and not suppressing, and that you have the tools to know how to do that and not feel like it. So I'm trying to break the stigma that surrounds mental health issues as of 2022. So welcome if you're new. If you're not new, what up? What it do? Yeah, I know I'm a little silly. Today, I'm excited. Let me tell y'all, it's a couple of exciting reasons. But before I get into anything, you know what I need y'all to do? I need y'all to share. I need y'all to share. It's this button that you can press, that little share button. And I need you to share with your whole social media family. I need you to share with your friend group because you don't know who needs it. It ain't about me. It's about conversations shifting perspectives. And if it's possible that we can have a conversation or be a part of a conversation that can shift our perspective into a better place, then why wouldn't you want that for everybody? You'd be kind of selfish just keeping it to yourself, right? Anyway, y'all go ahead and share. While y'all sharing, I'm going to share on my Facebook as well, because you guys know I'm now exclusively on YouTube, just because this is where this page is going to be, and I need to focus here. Hey, Mom, love you. So I'm going to tell y'all why today is an amazing day. And yes, I'm going to tell y'all why this day is an amazing day. It's first of all, let's talk about it. It's an amazing day because I woke up and I have my right mind, and I'm truly grateful for just being able to say that. Like, if I have nothing else to say, that's enough, right? And I'm not trying to make it seem as though we don't have issues or things, but I'm still trying to get this background thing under control. Not to say that people don't have issues, but my thing is, it didn't have to be like this. And I tell y'all, one of the things with mental health that you have to practice is gratitude. Sometimes it don't come natural for people, but that's okay. You still can you can still benefit from practicing it and being purposeful about it. So again, I'm sharing this, and if you guys can share as well, that would be great. So why is today a great day? I said it's already because I woke up and I'm in my right mind. That's a given. But it's also a great day because today is my son Makai's birthday. Yes, the King Makai. It's his birthday. My one and only son. If you didn't know, he just turned 19 today, and I'm so excited. He is here with me. You're probably not gonna get on camera, so I'm sorry. I was gonna try to force it, but y'all gonna hear me, Makai, and then get mad and go off screen to go get him and tell him to come on, and he's gonna come over here begrudgingly. And you know what I decided to do? I decided to give him boundaries, the right to his boundaries. If he does not want to be on camera today on his birthday, then I won't do it. And I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning and growing. I'm not perfect, because I used to be like, get on this camera, boy. But I realized that's not cool. It's not cool. So I'm learning every day to respect him a little bit more. I know we were out to dinner the other day, and I was about to tell him it was his birthday. I think I did. And he was just like, why do you do that? I don't want them saying anything to me. I don't want them to sing to me. And of course, the table next to us had somebody come sing for their birthday. And it's this big embarrassing thing. He hated it. And so I saw how upset he was. And at first I'm like, you're just overreacting. But then, I realized I used to hate it too. I really did. And then I'm a woman, and so he's a boy, so he probably doesn't like it even more than that. And it's kind of private. So you know what I said? I told the waitress, I said, hey, please don't do the singing thing. He don't want that, And I realized that that's okay. It's okay if he don't want it, right? Respect his boundaries. Make sure that, that I'm not being forceful of what I think would be cute or what I think would be nice for him. So happy birthday, Makai. I love you. He has really just changed the trajectory of my life, and I learn every day from him, every single day. Whether it's like a lesson I wanted to learn or not, I learned. And so I'm so grateful for him. So yes, that's why today is an amazing day. This day, 19 years ago, I was being rushed to the hospital at almost 4 a.m. And that boy came out a couple of pushes and was out in the world with his eyes open, like, hey, I'm here, world. Come on. So yes, today's an amazing day. So anyway, I couldn't miss it. I missed y'all for a whole week. So yes, it's his birthday. He told me, Mom, it's okay for you to do your live. We'll get together after that. So y'all about to get this work. All right. So if you guys have been following with me, I came on Tuesday and we talked about parenting, and we talked about but what it was under the umbrella of trauma. And I said that if you don't know, I'm doing a class on trauma. It's called Trauma Triage. And so I think what I've learned is that a lot of people don't necessarily really understand what trauma is. They have this one definition of what it can be, and they kind of leave it this open-ended thing, and therefore they don't understand how it applies to them. So I'm going to be teaching on it then, because I feel like let's expose you a little bit more to it so you understand that this is not oh, that's for them but not me. I just personally think we all have it, and it's just different varying levels, right? So I talked about parenting on Tuesday. I know that was a hard one, but I really think everybody on some level should have been able to relate, right? And so today I decided to talk about friends. How many of us have them? This is the only time y'all really gonna hear me sing like that, because I'm not a singer. However, I love music, and I felt like I could hold that note, right? Because I used to be in the choir back in the day. I was a strong alto, you feel me? And I felt like I could say that, right? I used to be a soprano, so I feel like I can go between it. Not that y'all care about all that, but you're gonna get this note or two from me, right? So yes, so what am I talking about? Like, what am I saying? And how am I going to relate this conversation today? Y'all listen to me. I don't know what this thing is doing. So let's talk about it. Paris, what are you talking about when you say we're going to talk about trauma and we're going to talk about friends? Well, first of all, I need y'all to understand. Friendship is such an important relationship that we have, right? Why? Because friendships are chosen, right? You choose who you become friends with, and you choose who you open up into your life. And you choose who you decide to build relationship with. I believe that is why friendship becomes extremely, it becomes a hot topic oftentimes when it goes wrong. But I think that most of us are not really sure how to do a friendship right in the first place. We assume we do. We assume it comes natural. We believe, oh, I see that person. I want them to be my friend. They're going to be my friend. It's going to flow naturally, because if they're a good person and good friend, we're going to be friends forever, and it's going to be amazing. And I just think that's the furthest from the truth. I think that there are some situations that flow and just work depending on like people's personality. But I think even when you have a good flowing situation, there takes effort, right? It takes effort. It takes intentionality. Even if it didn't take that to get to the friendship, it takes that to maintain it. And some people say, no, I never had to try with my friend. When I'm with my friend, I don't have to try. They just know. But guess what? What you don't get is, even if you don't try, they try. Ooh, y'all, I'm about to get on somebody's nerve today, because all y'all rebuttals I already thought about. I thought about y'all rebuttals, already got y'all, right? And I didn't used to think this way either. So y'all, as I learn, I teach y'all, right? So what do you mean, Paris? Like I have some friendships that's so effortless. They don't even trip. We cool. It's no problem. And what I'm saying to you is that there's effort being put forth, and you just don't feel like it's effort because of a few things. Thing number one, you ever heard somebody say that when you are having fun, it doesn't feel like working? That's what they always tell you, to choose a career that's fun, something that you love to do. And I feel the same way, right? Like, choose something that you might like to do. Choose something that you might like to do, and it's still work, but that work is not going to feel like work because you like doing it. I'm trying to break this down as simple as possible. Let me go further. If you have to work out and you don't like working out, but you choose something that is enjoyable for you, you maybe you don't like going to the gym, but you do like doing certain workout classes, like certain types of workout classes, then maybe you take the classes because you still need to work out and you still don't necessarily enjoy it, but at least doing something that's closer to what you like will not feel like you need all of the pushing. You're going to want to do it because it's something that you already enjoy. So I hope y'all get that part of it. Meaning, even though you and that person vibe and y'all just on the same wavelength, as much as that's true, because you vibing on the same wavelength, you still put effort for it to do for that relationship. But it doesn't feel like effort because you want to do it. Yeah, I know y'all didn't believe I was going to be right there. It doesn't feel like effort because you wanted to do it. When you care about somebody and you're in good standing with them, you want to celebrate them. You want to do good things for them. You want to give. If you're a giving person, you're naturally going to do it for somebody that you care about, right? So it's not to you. You think, oh, well, I effortlessly do that. Well, no, because you think in advance, like, oh, their birthday is coming up. Let me make sure that, I check in with them what they want to do for their birthday. Or maybe I want to do this surprise or whatever. You do that because it's them. Or let me give you another example. They do that for you. They care about you. So maybe when you tell them and you cancel something, you say you can't do it, they don't give you a whole bunch of grief because they know that you got a lot going on. And so they don't want to make you feel bad. So when you cancel, even though it did inconvenience them, they're not going to say that to you. They're not going to give you grief. They give you grace over grief. Well, that's a whole title or something. Grace over grief. That's good. But they give you grace over grief because they understand that you have a lot of things going on. And because they love you, they don't make you feel guilty about it. You see what I'm saying here? I need y'all to get that, right? And so that's what I'm saying, right? There is effort that goes into effortless friendships. But I think you don't see that it's effort because, again, you enjoy that friendship. Working on a relationship only seems hard when that person and you are in a rocky space, because then now you're like, is it worth me putting that effort in here? Someone had to help me with this a long time ago, and it was like, it's easy to love on people that's easy to love, right? When people are doing everything right, when people are communicating, clearly, when people are not selfish, when people are doing all the things that you would love in a relationship or friendship, it's easy for you to reciprocate, right? And that's who you are. But it's when those hard moments happen where it's extremely pivotal for you to understand your why and understand that if this person was worth getting into a relationship with, it's not worth throwing it away, right? Because something bad goes bad, right? Okay, so and so y'all follow me. I know y'all like, Paris, you talking about trauma, you talking about friendships. I'm talking about both, and I'm telling you about the trauma that friendships can bring, and I'm even tell you about something called trauma bonding. Y'all didn't think I was gonna go there, did y'all? But so Any relationship that's worth it takes effort. Any relationship worth it takes effort. Okay. And it's supposed to come from both sides, right? Sometimes you might not even see the effort because again, they are doing like this is one of the hardest things to explain to people about relationships. That's really hard. Oftentimes people are not giving the same effort and energy. And it's usually because we are different people and it wasn't communicated and different life stuff going on. So it's easy to get lopsided, right? And so it's easy for you not to be on the same page, right? The hard part is when somebody over, like there should be periods when that happens, but if that happens over the longevity of your friendship, then that's something to talk about and deal with, right? But if there's a moment of that, you can get past that with communication, and you really can get past that and understanding, right? And so, but what's hard is when there's always somebody who is trying to overcompensate their effort to make up for the person's lack of effort. Does that make sense? And so let me back out of this whole, because y'all, I'm doing this whole teaching on relationships I didn't mean to do. What I do want to say though is the trauma. What's the trauma involved? Y'all, there have been some friendships that I've had that have hurt 10 times worse than any, there have been some breakups or like dissolvement of friendships that have hurt 10 times worse than any romantic relationship I've ever been in. For real. And I think that people only quantify this idea of, oh, he broke my heart, she broke my heart, but they don't really talk about what happens when you're all in a friendship. What happens when you're all in a friendship and that person literally stumps on your trust, your heart. It really does. It really is traumatic. And I was trying not to say that out the gate, but it is. It really is. We are in a cancel culture right now, right? It's popular to say, skip him, skip her. They don't want you. They don't want to be around you. Who cares? And while I'm all about not hanging on to people that don't want to hang on to you, I think we're missing a whole big piece. And so what we're missing is the idea that it hurts. It's not fair. It sucks. It's a huge violation of trust, especially depending on how it happened. Let's talk about it. I've heard horrible stories of how friendships have broken up. But I'm here to say, unless it was something that was really petty and it was just you not fighting for a friendship, which that oftentimes is a result of you fighting too much for other friendships that you shouldn't have. And therefore, that's a trauma response because you didn't heal. And because you didn't heal, you are now overcompensating in a different way, right? Instead of you now giving too much in your relationships like you used to, you go to the opposite end of the extreme and you like, no new friends. Oh, she don't want to ask on the first ring. Blocked. Boo, I ain't got time for her. That's negativity I don't need in my life. I don't need that. And what you don't realize is that you are hurt and you are processing your hurt in a retaliatory form. You don't think it's retaliatory. Well, how is that retaliation? I'm just protecting my peace. Listen, y'all know I love to say protecting my peace, but I also believe we use these words out of context so quickly and we don't understand what that is. Before you say you're protecting your peace, you need to understand if your peace was violated. And a minor disagreement don't mean that your peace is violated. Now you get to choose what relationships you're in, but we got to get to a point if every single one of our relationships ends and is destructive and we can't keep any friends, there's a different conversation we have to have. And it's this conversation right here. The conversation is you've not healed from the trauma of the last friendship that you really, really, really value. And we don't want to talk about these things because we don't want to seem like we this soft. We don't want to be this vulnerable. We want to appear and feel healed. We rather just say, well, if they don't want me, I don't want them. And it's a coping mechanism, right? It's a defense mechanism. I am trying to show you that I'm okay because I don't want to give them that much power. And listen, I'm all about not giving people power, but it can't be fake. It can't be fake. You know how many people I watch that are living their life. I'm trying to say this the right way. That person heard me. Watch this. I'm a boss up so I can show them I didn't need them in the first place. And somebody gonna say, what's the problem with that? What's the issue with that, parents? At least they doing positive. If it's fueled, come on, y'all. I'm preaching and y'all ain't passed off the round. If it's fueled by your hurt, if you striving to be the best version of you possible is fueled by your hurt, then number one, what happens when you realize that that's nothing that you can hold on to, or maybe there was a piece of it that you contributed to. Maybe there were things you could have done to fix it or be better as well, right? Because what we don't like to talk about is no matter how bad somebody is, it takes two to tango all day. And until you are able to fully acknowledge your wrongs too, maybe, and I'm not, and maybe, just maybe, your whole glow up is because somebody hurt you. I'm gonna ask you this question. What happens if your glow up, like once you actually, like I've seen this happen where that person that they so upset at or was so hurt by, even though that person did them wrong, they see that that person's still living life and striving, right? And I've seen them get their feelings hurt. And I'm like, well, how are their feelings hurt? I thought you didn't care. Well, the reality was not that they didn't care. The reality is that they had to make it seem like they didn't care so they can keep going. And so what happens when a wound is never dealt with, unresolved trauma? And so now, not only can I not really enjoy my success, but I'm not even able to make new friends because I am so scared of what happened the last time. And so now I'm in an area of my life where I'm supposed to be thriving, but I can't thrive because I don't trust nobody. Come on, Paris. I can't thrive fully because I don't trust nobody. We always talk like, it's just me, myself, and I. That's all I need. I don't need these fake phonies. I don't need people hating on me. You can't even trust family. You can't, I just don't need none of it. And this is what we say. Those are all hurt responses. These are all things we say after we survive something. This is what we have done to, I call it a patch job, right? I call it a patch job. That's what happens when you hurt yourself really bad outside and your mom and daddy ain't home and you like, oh, what happened? Oh my God, I'm bleeding. Oh my God. And you know that you can't be just leaking outside. So your friend, oh, you got a Band-Aid? Oh, you got a little thing. Oh, I'm gonna go clean it, rinse it off with some water, put a bandage on it. And then when my mama get home, I'm gonna let her look at it and see if it's serious enough. That's a patch job. Well, what happens when your whole way of dealing with relationships is a patch job, and you never really went back to actually deal with that thing to see if it was an infection, to see if it was a wound worth treating, to see if it was a wound worth treating. This is what we talk about when we talk about unresolved trauma. Your 10-year friendship that dissolved over something that was a huge deal or a small deal, it doesn't even matter, that hurt you. And until you are willing to admit that it hurt you, you can't even go forward. And we don't talk about these things. We'll talk about, he hurt me, that man hurt me, that woman hurt me, they just this. But we're not going to talk about the friendships that literally, I mean, we can get on there and we can front, social media good for that. I can't believe this bride did this to me. I can't believe this dude. We're fast to try to front them off because we feel fronted, right? I think fronting is like an old word. I think I just dated myself. But we're fast to do that, and we don't even realize that we're not really okay. We just feel like we got to hurry up and recover because this is what looks like it's okay. Like this is what is normal. I don't want nobody to think I'm still down and I'm hurt. I don't care nothing about that girl, whatever. I should have protected myself from her years ago. I should have saw she was never for me. Let me help y'all out. This is something I tell people and they don't want to hear this all the time. Every messed up friendship wasn't fraudulent. I won't say that again. Every friendship that ended in a bad way was not fraudulent from the beginning. And I know that's not popular culture to say, because we have everybody believing that if a friendship didn't last, it means it was never your friend. And I used to believe that. But I now realize that, again, every relationship takes maintenance, and it really happens on both sides. And a relationship doesn't dissolve overnight. Even if you don't know that it's dissolving, that's good too, Paris. That's really good. What was I at years ago? A relationship does not dissolve overnight. I hear people say, they just ghosted me. They didn't say nothing to me. And that's like one of the worst, harshest things for people to deal with. Is like, they ghosted me. They never said anything. And trust me, y'all, I've been through that. Ooh, have I been through it? I've been through that. And it's hard because then you think, oh, whatever, I'm gonna be fine. But there's this unresolved stuff that's happening with you. And you do start to question yourself, what did I do? What was said? Why would this person go there? Because if you care about that person, these questions do matter. But I think once you start not getting answers, and because of the way they did it, and because they ghosted you, you get this tough defense mechanism. Well, you know what? They must have not been for me anyway. And whatever that is, that's on them. I'm not going to worry about it. They obviously not a good enough person if they can't say something to me to my face. And so you come with all these ways to make it make sense as to why what happened and why it happened. And a lot of times you're patty caking the patch job, but you're not really digging in there to see if there's some infection, right? And the way you know if it's infection, I always tell people, is because if it's sore to the touch, right? And yeah, I'm doing these metaphors so you can understand. Like if you skid your little arm or your knee or something, it should probably hurt for a little bit. And if it's no big deal, it'll be all right soon. But if you hurt it really bad and it's still hurting a week later, you know that there's some damage that was done and you probably need to see somebody, right? Same idea. When you know if it's unresolved traumas, as if somebody bring that person up and you be like, oh yeah, that fake chick, oh, that dude was phony, ooh, this and that, and it still elicits a response. Y'all, this is so good. If it still elicits a response, and sometimes you won't even talk about that response. If it elicits a response in your chest, y'all don't have to tell me. I know I'm talking because I know this feeling where somebody brings them up and all those memories come up. And the first memory that's going to come up is the hurt. It's going to resurface. Then, if depending on how the relationship went, other memories are going to come up that were good. And then you're going to be regretful because you feel like I treated them too good. I wish I just never was that open to them and this and that. And then it makes you start beating yourself up because why didn't I see that this person was no good? But I challenge you to understand that whether or not that person told you what happened, that relationship does not deteriorate instantly. There was deterioration prior to that. You just might have not been aware. And again, I don't believe on blaming people on other people's silent expectations, because I don't believe in that at all. However, oftentimes we'll even realize what things we missed, right? And I've learned most things have nothing to do with me, especially if they have no explanation. They have nothing to do with me. But that doesn't mean it didn't hurt, and it doesn't mean I didn't need to heal from it. Do you get that part? You could have been hurt by somebody that had nothing to do with you per se, as far as like their abruptness and how they left. It could have been something going on in their life that they just couldn't articulate. And it might have nothing to do with me independent, like directly, but they chose to sever the relationship, which is fine. But if I don't heal from that, I'm going to take that into my next relationship. You get that? So I see it so often. And, the worst thing that happens is this thing called trauma bonding. It's when my friend of 10 years stopped talking to me, and it was over something silly. And your friend of 15 years stopped talking to you. And then we out at a party, and we meet each other, and somebody said, no new friends, these chicks phony anyway. And I found myself saying, girl, it's the truth. I know one in particular. And then you be like, girl, don't get me started talking about one. And then y'all laugh and y'all laughing about the situation. And then y'all sit down and y'all meet each other and y'all talking, y'all having a good time. And in some kind of way, y'all start talking about these friendships. Girl, tell me what happened with yours. Oh my God, girl, this girl, blah, 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 blah. And then, what? I can't believe that. These girls be trifling, this is blah, blah, blah. And then she started telling you, girl, let me tell you about what she did to me. And then all of a sudden, you and that person are now forming some type of relationship, acquaintanceship. You're forming a bond over what? You guessed it? Over trauma, unresolved trauma. And you think it's just, oh, no, girl, this is just truth. This is truth. Trauma can still be truth. And y'all know, I'm preaching better than y'all. I saying and responding to it. Because let me tell you something. Just because it's truth doesn't mean it wasn't trauma. I used to always say, well, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. What's the problem with telling the truth? And I learned that explaining the truth is not an issue, but the way that you release it and why you're releasing it matters. And therefore, if you're releasing it and you guys are now bonding on the basis of that trauma. So we've both had traumas in friendship. And so now we're going to grow a bond because we both know what that hurt feels like. Now, here's the tricky part of that. Such a tricky part, because I've done it. Oh, I've done it. Oh, I know I've done it. The hard part about that is you assume because you have revealed your hurt and your trauma to somebody else, and they've revealed theirs, you assume that both of you guys will respect that boundary and never hurt each other in that way, because we know how much that it hurt me, and I know how much it hurt you. So I would never violate you that way. And you assume that you'll never feel that same hurt from that person because I explained to them what my trauma was, right? But the part where we don't talk about enough is that, baby, the reason y'all trauma bonded in the first place is because y'all never really dealt with your trauma. And because of that, you're going to bring that baggage from your last relationship into the next one. Y'all think that's just romantic? No, baby. No. That's why I be tired of y'all talking about romantic relationships all the time. It makes me sick because that's all y'all want to talk about. But y'all ain't a good friend. Y'all don't know how to keep friendships. You always got drama in every other relationship you have. Work acquaintanceship, friendships, family relationships, but you want a romantic relationship because it's going to help you feel in this void that you don't realize is present in all your relationships. But I'm not going to go there. My point is that trauma is going to represent itself, and it might not present itself in the same exact way, but it will show up. What's going to happen when it shows up? Are you guys going to try to deal with that? Or are you going to try to just say, forget that person. You fake too, just like the rest of them. Yeah, I know this hitting some people because guess what? We see it all over social media. You hear it in your friend circles. You hear it everywhere else because this is how people are operating. They're not dealing with those unresolved hurts. And this hurt could have been years ago. Oftentimes I find that this hurt stems back from your first real best friend, okay? Your first real friend that you really, like, sometimes they so close, but I call them my sister. That was my bro. And we just shared everything. I was with them. We was together when we didn't have nothing eating. We split a can of beans. Often people that you went through the most with, you look at them in the sacred light, and understandably so. But what happens is when it goes left, and whether or not it was salvageable or not, the reality is that if you never heal from it, you're going to take that trauma into all your other relationships, romantic, work, business relationships, friendships, your family relationships. You're going to take it into any social club, any social gathering type of relationship that you make. You will take it into everything. If you have kids, it will show up there too. You'll find yourself telling your kids, "Oh, don't be friends with that person because you can't trust nobody." And now you have passed on something to your kids and you don't even realize you didn't mean to. I'm telling y'all, listen, hear me. I'm telling y'all, you unknowingly pass on this trauma to them because you didn't realize it was trauma. You thought, I did get hurt. Everybody I got close to hurt me. So that's why I'm going to tell my kids not to deal with what I went through. I'm going to help them to shield them out and show them they can't trust anybody. And you don't realize that's a trauma response. So parents, what you trying to say? We all messed up. Yup, that's what I'm saying. Me included, we're all messed up. We all have some levels of unhealedness in relationships. And that's not something that's going to make you a horrible person. Admitting that is not making you seem like you're weak or a failure. The reason it makes you feel funny is because you like, parents, it ain't even that deep. But it is that deep. But it is that deep. Well, parents, I got other relationships that are good. Let me help you out. I wish we can do, and I just don't think people are as honest as we are. I always told somebody, I wish I could do one of those blind, like, response, like programs where, like a secret shopper type of thing. Like, I wish you could tell me who your 3 closest friends was. And I wish I could go talk to them, and they don't know me. But I just back up a conversation with them, and then some kind of way we bond in some way, and some kind of way I trigger them into a conversation, and I just start saying something like, "Dad, don't you hate when people waste your time or they late?" And I guarantee you, some people or somebody's gonna end up saying something about you unknowingly, and you're gonna be surprised, like, oh. And see, what you might want to say is, "Oh, they fake. They never was for me." That's not true. Oftentimes, here we go. Here's another thing. This is going to feel hard. Oftentimes, people don't feel like they can't articulate certain things to you because they know it's going to be a deal breaker for you, or you won't, or you're so you're not self-aware enough to understand that that's true about you. And the reality is that they fear losing the relationship more than making you understand what you do to them. I need y'all to hear me. That thing I just said was real, but not a lot of people want to hear that part. A lot of y'all gonna think that that has nothing to do with y'all, and that's okay. It's okay. It's hard to hear. Listen, I'm gonna even tell you, I remember I had a friendship, and I remember this person would always agree with everything I said. And I was like, and guess what? When people agree with what you say, at first it's like, oh, this is the easy path. If we agree, everything's wonderful, we're wonderful. But I stopped to think at one point, and I started to see certain times when they would agree to something and then they wasn't having a good time. And I'm just like, that sucks. I don't think they're having a good time, and they're pretending for me, my sake. They're pretending to be happy because of me, because they don't want to not be friends with me. And some part of them, whether I did it or whether they did it, or their past trauma, something in them is saying, don't say anything because the relationship might dissolve. And that's no big deal. We're not going to speak on it. And that hurt my heart, actually. It really hurt me that person would filter how they would talk to me, because they didn't think they either could talk to me, or they thought that if they talked to me, it could result in us not being friends anymore. And so that's the part where, again, the assumption that all our relationships are good all the time, or just because you have relationships, they don't mean they're good. So you should not measure, like I always tell people, don't measure how good of a friend you are by how many friendships you have. You have to measure the quality of those friendships. And unfortunately, a lot of times those are tested in hard times, right? You often people say, oh, when the worst things happen, you'll find out who your real friends are. And that sometimes is true. Sometimes I don't think it's true all the time. I think that a lot of times when you're in stressful situations, or you're in the middle of another traumatic situation, if somebody's not there for you in the way you want them to be there for you, it feels too hard to fight for. And so you let it go. Oh, I just felt I'm in a vein somewhere. There's somebody that, okay, I'm not going to go there. Y'all better sign up for this trauma triage class, because it's deep. Because this trauma thing, like, the reason why I'm so passionate about trauma, the reason I talk about it so much is because I just think we have normalized traumatic responses. It's become so bad that it's in our body, it's in our body language, it's in how we move, it's in how we respond, it's in everything that we do. And so we unknowingly really put ourselves in a situation where we don't recognize that it's trauma, because we normalize it as part of our personality. Oh, I'm a straightforward person, Paris. I ain't got no trauma from the No, people that left me was supposed to leave my life, girl. That was a blessing. We're so fast to look healed that we're not actually dealing with the hurt. We're in a culture that says, hurry up and heal so you don't make people uncomfortable with your brokenness. Y'all, that was so good. Y'all know why that just hit me, because I've been there and I've done that. I have rushed through the healing process to make it seem like I'm okay, because I don't want people to think I'm hurt, because being hurt looks vulnerable. It feels vulnerable. And we rather make people think that we're okay, because people have told us for a long time not to wear your heart on your sleeve. We rather pretend and silently suffer than to really work on the healing part. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was gonna hit me. That hit me. Because although I went through this process, I remember a Paris from 10 years ago. I remember a Paris from 5 years ago. Hell, I remember a Paris from a year ago that allowed this strong woman, strong person persona, which it tried to act like it was a persona, but it was just the masking of all my hurt that I never dealt with. Because I didn't think I had a space to heal. I didn't think I had a space to deal with that. I'm over it. I choose not to be upset. You choose how you feel. Y'all, we have let a whole bunch of sayings mimic healing. God, y'all, this is so good. This is so good. Because I think this is where you get to an understanding about why we have so many people bleeding all over each other, because we rather adopt some fast. When they say it's a microwave generation, we rather adopt some fast saying, read some things online, Google some stuff, think we read it, we understand it, versus to really do the work and comb through the journey of healing in these different areas. And so because we've not really done that work, we say a couple of sayings, we say some affirmations, and you can't even believe the affirmations you speaking because you didn't heal from the stuff that broke you, which is the reason why you said affirmations in the first place. Okay, sorry, y'all. I'm gonna stop hitting stuff. Oh, this is good. This is good. Y'all, sorry, it was like daylight when I started, and the light, it's nighttime now. And so it's dark, and I forgot to turn all the lights on because I just don't really have more. So I apologize for it being so dark. I got my little ring light on, so hopefully y'all at least see my face. So let's get back to it. The trauma of friendship. Guess what? Whether or not you believe it, you need people. And it is a trauma response to say that, hey, I'm independent. I don't need nobody. It's just me, myself, and I. It's me and my kids. It's me and my husband. It's me and my man. I'm good. I fly solo. I don't need anybody. You find yourself saying that. I'm not trying to beat you up, but it's a trauma response. And it's okay. Because listen, ain't nobody said I don't need nobody more than me. Ain't nobody has said, I'm going to do me because I ain't got no other choice but to do me. Nobody said that. I don't want to talk about it. And I was in error. I was hurt. I was hurt and I didn't deal with it all the way. You don't have to be Christian. You don't have to like gospel music, but there's a song that was out that I used to think was so corny because I couldn't relate back in the day, but I relate to it now. And back in the day, I related to it, but I used to, after a while, I made fun of it because of my trauma. And the song was, I need you, you need me. We're all a part of one body. I think it says, I pray for you, you pray for me. We're all a part of one body. And then I think the other part of it is God's will that every knee comes to bow. So that part is about us putting our pride aside. And then the last part was you are. I'll see. This is live TV because that just hit me as I was about to sing it because I probably have not sung that out loud since I was a young girl. Okay, I'm trying to finish that last verse. It says, you are important to me. I need you to survive. Whew. Jesus, I didn't know this was going to hit me like that. Whew. See, now this is what happens. This brought me back to a point. See, I didn't realize that even that moment would come up again because guess what I did? Part of my trauma response, part of the thing I did is I put on this extra shield to keep people out. And I've since took the shield down, but I did not realize all of the things. My God, y'all, our brain is very intelligent. It protects us from so many things. When it perceives danger, it goes and does all these things to protect us. And a lot of times you have all these protective devices that are still up that you don't realize that you don't even need anymore because you're not surviving anymore. You're trying to thrive, but you realize it's hard to thrive because you're still in survival mode. And so even though I feel like I've definitely healed from it, and I guess healing comes in layers and in waves, but even though I feel like I've done the work, I just now realized that I stopped singing that song because I didn't believe it was true. I used to make fun of it. I'm like, look, here the corny song is, you are important to me. I need you to survive. I used to look just like that and do it because I'm like, I don't need nobody to survive. Paris is going to take care of Paris, period. Whew. You see that, y'all? This is what we got to do. We got to talk about these things so we can get it out. I'm not the only one, and that's okay. And y'all can pretend like I am, and that's fine. But I understand that's part of the healing journey, to understand all the devices that your mind and that you put up to protect you. and to slowly tear them down, and to deal with what you feel when you have the walls down. Because let's be clear, healing is not fun. Healing is not it's not pretty. It is necessary, and it is worth it. And the reason I have to say that is because as you tear down walls, because let's be honest, a wall, it makes you feel protected, because if you're inside of the wall, you feel protected. But what you don't understand is that although that wall protects people from coming in, it also protects bad people from coming in. It also keeps the good people out. There's too many of y'all with walls, and we all see them. And you say stuff like, well, I got trust issues. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm solo right now. I just like being to myself. I don't really need all that drama. I'm cool. Yeah, no, I prefer to be alone. Or I don't need no new friends. No new friends. I got like 2 friends, and I don't need to meet new people. I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate it. And you stop a lot of your blessings. You stop a lot of connections that you need to have. You stop making friendships with people because you are fearful that it's going to end up like you ended up last time. So I'm going to end on that note. I know I just unpacked a lot. I did. This was a good one though, y'all. Y'all, please share this with other people. I don't do this for myself. I do this because I know that we don't understand this at a molecular level yet. And the more we talk about it, maybe it'll open you up to understanding more about yourself, more about your past relationships, more about the things that you've been through, and allow you and help you to grow and move past it. I hope this has helped somebody. And again, if it's helped you, share with somebody. You don't know what people are going through. The ones that seem like they're the strongest, the ones that look like they got 20 friends, baby, share with them first. Because I could tell y'all all about that too. And that's no shade. I'm just saying. I'm telling you what I know mostly. You'd be surprised who struggle with these things. That's another thing. That's another trauma I didn't tell you about. There are people that hold on to relationships that they know have been done with because they're fearful that they can't create new ones. Yeah, I'm talking some real good stuff today. Okay? All right. I love you guys. And there's nothing you can do about it. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for letting me into your homes and hearts. Thank you for rocking with me and conversating with me, y'all, because we're going to get this healing anywhere it go. It ain't cool to be the only healer. I want everybody around me to get this healing work. I love you guys. And like I say all the time, you are enough. You are enough. Oh, and I'm not gonna call it a shameless plug because it's not. If you did not hear about it, let me help you out, baby. I am teaching a course that starts on March 21st. It's called Trauma Triage. Yes, I'm teaching on trauma because a lot of people don't understand what it looks like and what it's going to be like. Let me tell you something. I really want you to understand that we all deal with trauma on some type of way. And so you want to sign up. It's a 6-week course. We're going to meet once a week on Mondays. I think going to be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to meet for like an hour and a half. It's a real course. There's going to be homework. There's going to be a workbook that's attached to this because I really want you to do the work. You're going to understand what trauma is like, how it shows up in many different ways. What traumas do you personally hold and have? And y'all, that list can go on and on, but just at least the most important ones that you're going to be able to identify. Understanding why that you have unresolved trauma, like what are the underlying things that are holding on to that trauma and keep you from really releasing it, right? Because you can't release trauma. And then understanding how to start the healing journey. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing course. I'm excited about it because I think a lot of us don't know that we need this. And I know we do. So y'all, the website is on here, www.parispjohnson.com. You can purchase the website on there. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Y'all, it's a limited amount of class. When it fills up, I can't do anything because I owe it to my students to give myself freely. As of right now, I need to be able to give them my energy and time, and I can't do that with a super big class. So y'all, when it's full, it's full. So what I'm saying to y'all is get this work. It's going to be amazing. And if you know somebody that needs it, share that with them because I'm telling you, like I had a girl and her friend took it together. My last emotional intelligence class, they took it together. And it was amazing because they talked about how it even strengthened their bond because they were able to heal individually, and it even strengthened them. So I'm just saying, y'all get this work, because it's no reason to go into 2022 unhealed. It's no reason. It's no reason. So I love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Do something kind for yourself. Like I said, it's my son's birthday. We're about to go out to eat, and I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for you guys, and check it out. I will talk to you later. Bye.